I've lost 180 pounds with a combination of carnivore, keto, and counting calories. I reached my goal in November of 2022. Right now I'm doing an experiment with being carnivore-ish and counting calories. If you want to see the results, stick around and subscribe, and we can see how it goes. Don't forget to click the like button. Hello. It's time for me to set up my pill bottles, and I don't know if I can raise this. So I'm just going to talk to you guys while I do it. And I'll tell you what I take and maybe why I take it. But, you know, I stress to you guys all the time, and I want to continue to stress to you guys as often as possible. We're all individuals and we all have individual needs. So just because like I take this vitamin K2D3, just because I take it doesn't mean you have to take it. Just because right now I'm experimenting with carnivore doesn't mean you have to do it. You know, we've all lived different lives and we've all been addicted to different types of foods and different types of things. And just because I may have abused myself since childhood with sugary cereals doesn't mean you have. You might have gone through a change in your life, a traumatic experience as an adult, and turned to food for your comfort. So, you know, you may not have quite a messed up system, the same kind of messed up system as I have. You know, like I'm a binge eater, big time binge eater. So I have a broken full meter. And so we can't all do the same thing. And part of that is, I want to say, because you know, I had somebody tell me that they followed a certain person online. I ain't going to give out any names or anything. And this person promoted a certain way. And I think that it was just, you know, eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, and just eat the meat. And that's fine. You know, that's what I started with. So I feel like at different parts in our journey, we need different things. So I'm a little more in a loosey-goosey kind of way, but I am now because I wasn't before. So I was extremely, extremely dogmatic. Oh, my stars. Wait, let me stop talking. So this is K2D3. I live in Southeast Missouri. I don't go outside. And even if I could go outside, I don't want to go outside. I don't like outside. So my vitamin D is low, and it is for the area that I live in. Yeah. Anyway, I ain't gonna justify it. I just don't like outside. So there you go. That's why I take this. But anyway, so, you know, I was very, very dogmatic in the beginning, and I did exactly what I saw people online doing, and it worked. It worked for, oh, shoot, a monkey. Hold on. It worked. It really did work for a while. And so, you know, it's okay to be dogmatic for a while when you're first starting. It's totally okay to say, I need somebody to tell me what to do. I was that same way. That's why when I first 2 months, this is my actual second time around. In 2017, when I started, I found dietdoctor.com. And back then it was free. But, and so I was following their recipes, and that's what I used. And so I needed somebody to tell me exactly what to do. Don't tell me to think. So I totally get that. And so we all have at certain stages. So for me in the beginning, I needed that stage. Let's see what this one is. This is pantoprazole. So I am on some antiplatelets, which what that does is it makes your body not clot. So like anytime I chew a cuticle, I get that. You know, I've got bruises all over me, but it's because I'm on an antiplatelet. I'm on 2 different ones, so it really makes my blood thin, or not thin, but makes it not sticky. So because of that, I was concerned about getting an ulcer. And so the cardiologist, I asked him to also put me on it's like Protonics. It's for for stomach. So like I said, it's kind of like a just anti-ulcer medicine. So anyway, But yeah, so when I first started, I did need somebody to tell me exactly what to do. So I will never, 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 never say that's the wrong thing to do when you're first starting. And I get it. I have people email me and they're like, Terri, I do not know where to start. And I'm like, start just shopping in the outer aisles. That's always my first suggestion. Hang on, I got to write A-M. I got a new script, a new refill. So I'm marking it so that way I remember with my AM and with my PM. Oh yeah, I don't have to. I keep this little jobber in my kitchen. So that way, because I do this one every week, because my little thing that I use is a weekly jobber. But anyway, I know I'm babbling, but I'm all over the map, so you're just going to have to put up with it. My squirrely ADHD is running rampant. Not really, I'm just kidding. So this one is clopidogrel. So this one is the Plavix. So this one, because I had stents put in March, so there's a foreign object. I don't know how to make it maybe like this. There's a foreign object in my body and it's holding open my heart vessels. And so what happens then is your body normally goes to a foreign area and then it builds up and makes a clot to try to heal that spot. But we don't want it to build up a clot there because then it could clot off the actual artery and then I could kick off. So I'm on, like I said, not a blood thinner, but just it makes it not sticky. So blood, the way it works is it goes, and like I said, it just goes to a spot and it starts sticking. And then comes the lymphatic system healers and they get to sticking in there. And so then together they get to work, but they don't want it to stick together because, yeah. So anyway, so like I said, I would never, 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 never blame somebody for being super dogmatic or specific or in the beginning when people are like, just tell me what to do. Because I was there. Oh, shoot. Believe you me, I was there myself. So I totally get it. So the reason for all that was, when you watch the influencers that you watch, they're very intelligent. I'm not sciencey. No, I can just tell you what I've experienced, but I can also tell you what I have seen and witnessed and read others experience after being in this community since 2017. You know what I mean? I've been around this community since 2017. So for 7 years, I've been in the community. I had to take a year off because I had 4 surgeries that year. Anyway, whatever. I had to take a year off in there. But my point is, these gurus, they're so smart and they know so much. So of course, when you're first starting, it's great to listen to them and follow what they're saying because they're very wise. But what I need all of us to remember is that they are not us. So you're not on protonics. You're not on 2 antiplatelets. You're not, maybe you are, but you might not be on what I'm about to do and what I'm about to add. And y'all, this is always the one that kind of gets people and they're like, rah, 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 rah. But I don't care. I'm taking it. It's my body. So I'm about to take a atorvastatin. It is a statin and it's Lipitor. And please, you can say what you want to in my comments, but I'm not listening to you. This is my body. I had a 99% blockage and a 95% blockage. And so my cardiologist says to take it. Well, for now, I'm taking it. My mother took it. My grandmother took it. And my dad took it. And they all lived nice, healthy ages and didn't have any problems. So for me, at this stage, I'm taking it. Anyway, okay, that's that little rant. But that goes along with, you have to do what's best for you. So say you get, for a while you're going along and you're eating your whatever you're following, whatever influencer you're following and eating like they are, which again, I totally respect that because I did the exact same thing. But at some point, you might hit a stall. Or if you're somebody and you're not following somebody and you're just wondering where the heck to start, my advice every single time is, if you are right now eating, I'm just going to name off some stuff, pizza, chips, ice creams, you're going to Burger King and McDonald's and getting their French fries and shakes. So let's just start with that. If you're eating that kind of, processed food, my suggestion is to shop the outer aisle of the Walmart. So if you think about what's in the outer aisles, I'm just walking through my Walmart. When I first walk in, here's all the fruits and vegetables. Then I go down the way, there's the cheeses and yogurts. And then I go down further, and there's the milk and the eggs and the bacon. And then I go down further, and there's the whole meats. And dog food and health, like health and beauty is in the outer aisles of my Walmart too. But so that's the outer aisle. That's where we need to start with the creams. And, so if you're somebody that's starting off with that kind of food, then you need to open your mind and just learn how to cook whole foods. Not stuff that's in a can, not stuff that's in a jar, except seasonings. I love my seasonings. Okay, wait. Next is my fluoxetine. So this is generic for Prozac. And I know when I was thinking about going on Prozac, some people had issues with it, but it has been amazing for me. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, this Prozac has been amazing. I was having trouble, not with memory. It's not what it is, but I already process things. Like my mom is a slow processor. I'd ask if I could stay the night with a friend this coming weekend, and she'd wait till the day before to tell me, because she had to process. She had to look at everything from the good side and the bad side and pick it apart. And so while I am impulsive, I also am slow at processing. But there was a lot of noise in my head. And so this truly has helped quiet the noise. So I'm able to recall things and answer questions a little faster now. So I am pretty stoked about that. And I'm able to go to bed and not be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that today. I hope they're not upset with me. And so anyway, it's just, we're all different. Again, we all have different needs. So yeah, so this is my generic Prozac. But yeah, so you need to learn to shop in the outer aisles. Look at that. See, before I was on this stuff, I'd have done forgot what I was talking about and never be able to remember. But shop in the outer aisles. Learn how to make whole meat in a crock pot. Learn how to make your own sauces. Learn how to make your own Alfredos. Learn how to make things from scratch that does not require flour. Learn how to make things from scratch that doesn't involve bread. So something I find interesting is when I think back to how our ancestors, think about I don't know what year it was, but think about in the gold rush days, the covered wagon days. Look, y'all, I'm in America. I don't know when y'all in your other countries, people stopped having covered wagons, or even if you did have covered wagons. I don't know nothing about nowhere, and I still don't know a whole lot about my own country. I just know during the gold rush that people were going across the United States in a covered wagon. And that's what I think about. So when they did that, just think about, what did they eat? This is my allergy medicine. You hear me sniff and blow my nose all the time. No explanation needed. But anyway, if you think about, what did they eat? They gathered fruits and vegetables when they came across it, and then they caught a rabbit or they shot a deer, So if you, that's what you're trying to think about, is how did people eat before there was a bunch of shelf-stable food? And so that's what you're trying to mimic, in my opinion. We are trying to mimic as close to, the way that people ate before there was shelf-stable food, before there was factories and all that stuff. And in all fairness, I know they ate bread. I know they ate a lot of bread and potatoes and all that stuff. But you know what they didn't have in their bread? Go to Walmart. Look at the bread ingredients. 26 ingredients, 25 ingredients in bread. That's not how their bread was. I used to make bread here, but I stopped, since I've doing low carb. But I used to make bread, and it was 6 ingredients. That's it. So if you think back to when those people were around, yeah, they had bread and they had potatoes, but they hadn't jacked their body all up from eating a bunch of, a bunch of processed junk food. So we're coming at it from a whole different angle also. We're having to do a lot of healing. So, we're not going to have everything perfect, and that's all right. We can't be perfect. Only one person on this earth was ever perfect, and I was this guy. I was Jesus. That was the big guy. So anyway, yeah. So like I said, if you're somebody who's just starting and you're like, where do I begin? Just shop the outer aisle. Spend the first couple weeks getting to know the food, the whole foods, how to cook unprocessed foods. Just learn about it first. And that's good. And then after a couple months, say you're like, just watch your scale. And then it's time to think about things. So that's whenever you think about who do you want to do, or not who do you want to do, who do you want to follow, whose way of eating makes the most sense to you. How many was in this thing? 36 tablets. Well, that's dumb. Who just wants 36 tablets if you're setting it? Whatever. That was aspirin, by the way. So that was baby aspirin. Next, stool softener. Because I am on an anticoagulants, antiplatelets, things that make my clotting slow down. If I were to get constipated, it would be really bad. Really bad. In the past, when I was straight carnivore, I had a lot of problems. I had a lot of constipation problems, and I had to manually remove that first word right there. I had to manually do it, and then there would be a lot of blood, and so I can't let that happen right now. I don't want somebody to find me like they did Elvis, stuck between the toilet and the wall because I bled to death, except his wasn't that reason. So I take 3 of these, okay? It's 300 milligrams. You ain't got to. Don't do what I do. So anyway, but once you're ready, then you figure out which person you want to follow, which influencer you like the most, which person makes the most sense. But you got to make sure you're used to eating whole foods, and that's a detoxing time frame, man. Ooh, Nelly, that's not fun. But I could talk to you about detoxing another time. I've got more to talk about. But what I want to say is that, like I said in the beginning, we are all different, and we all have different needs. So where I'm doing carnivore-ish, Gidget, she absolutely, her body won't let her eat more than 4 ounces of meat, I think a day or every other day or something like that. So she gets really sick. So that's why you have to analyze what's going to work for you. And then when you have to think about it, because when you have to be prepared, because you're going to hit a stall. Everybody hits a stall. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have to lose 2 pounds or 22 pounds or 180 pounds. You're going to hit stalls along the way. It happens. Your body can't just keep losing weight all the time. It's got to rest and adapt to what you're doing to it. So you also need to have a plan in place for what you're going to do. And you need to kind of figure out, as you're going, well, what am I going to do? Because you got to be able to figure that out at some point. Again, not in the beginning. You ain't got to worry about that in the beginning. But at some point, see why I take Zyrtec? At some point, you're going to be on your own. Because at some point, following what somebody else does is going to quit working. And that was my experience. So that's why I had to leave carnivore for a while, because it quit working. And so I had to kind of find my own way. So again, it goes back to we are all individuals and we all have our own specific needs. And so we have to do what is right for us and whatever that looks like. Oh, hang on just a second. Dang it. Okay, sorry. So anyway, we have to figure out what's going to look right for us. And so when you hit your stall, like I said, you're going to, at that stage, you're going to have to do some self-evaluating. You're going to have to decide, well, which person does like I do, or what's going to work better for me. So I have always taken 800 milligrams of this magnesium oxide, and I want to try swapping it out. I want to do 400 of the magnesium oxide, and I want to try 300 of the magnesium glycinate. Just an experiment, so don't get too excited. I don't know how long I'll do it. I tried it before and I ended up giving it to a coworker. So don't hold me to it. 2 weeks from now, I may be doing something totally different, but that's all right. So, but yeah, so when you find out, when you hit your stall and you regroup, reassess, decide what it is you want to make your ongoing method for the rest of your life, or for the rest of your time, or try. It's all a big trial and error. What works today, you may find out you want to do something different tomorrow. So again, you just got to kind of keep an open mind with it all. And you can't get too hung up on, well, this influencer says that I need to add this much fat. Or this influencer says I don't need to add any fat. Or this person, you gotta... You kind of have to do your own research on your own body, figure out what's going to work for you. And I thought there was more of these in here. 60. All right, well, then I can get 2 out of this. Alrighty. Sorry. Squirrel. Anyway. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you all because, it's easy to get to following somebody online and they sound so smart. Some of these people we listen to, I hear the same people y'all do. I watch the same influencers y'all watch. And they're so dadgum smart, and they make it sound like, oh, yeah, they got all the answers. I have to do what they're doing, or I'm not doing the right thing at all. Well, no. All of this, you want to know the truth? All of this is an experiment. Yeah, everything is an experiment. Counting your calories, that's an experiment. The food pyramid, in essence, that's an experiment. It's all an experiment. And so for those of us who kind of don't really buy into the whole food pyramid thing, and that's okay if you do, but for those who don't necessarily buy into the food pyramid is like perfect, then you know that was an experiment. Well, so is carnivore. So is keto is an experiment for weight loss. It's been around 100 and some odd years, but that wasn't for weight loss. It's been around for those little kids who had seizures and who the medication wasn't helping. So it's an experiment for those of us who want to lose weight. So everything, I'm telling you now, everything is an experiment. So you have to decide, well, what experiment are you want to try? If it's all an experiment, well, what experiment's worth trying? So if you look at things from a perspective kind of like that, it kind of helps you think things a little differently. And so when I think about it and I'm like, well, the whole carnivore thing is an experiment. Yes, it has been amazing for so many people, but it's still an experiment for them, and it's an experiment for me. I've done it before and I'm doing it again, but it's still an experiment. It's not something we do not know, I do not know, please tell me if you do, of a single grown-up that lived somewhere, and definitely not in the middle of town, and that person has only eaten meat or eggs, meat, cheese, and eggs for their whole life. If you can tell me somebody, and they can prove it, that that's what they were eating as a child, not just somebody who's popped out of the woodworks to be some trend person or something. I want to know somebody who I can see them, because, I'm kind of a pessimist. But anyway, yeah, so it's all an experiment. And you just have to decide what part of it you want to experiment with. So that's my 2 cents. And I just wanted to kind of tell you my 2 cents. You might have a different 2 cents. You might have 5 cents. Yeah, imagine that. You might have 5 cents. And my little 2 cents don't mean a hill of beans. And that's okay. That's okay. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of all of it, y'all. We are all just on our own journey trying to figure out what works for us. We don't have to try to figure out what works for our neighbor. We don't have to try to figure out what works for, I don't know, everybody. We just got to figure out what works for us. And so, yeah. So that's my 2 cents. Don't just follow somebody and then get aggravated with them when it doesn't work. Because when it stops working, like I said, it usually does. But when it slows down and stops working, then you just regroup and get on with it. So I don't know. I just, you know me, I like to harp on this sometimes, but just don't blindly follow once you're losing. And when you hit a stall, don't keep blindly following somebody and end up stalling for 7 months like I did. I blindly just followed along and kept doing what I was told for 7 months. And it's okay. I am where I am because of it. But had those people been a little more open-minded, I could have maybe lost weight a little faster, a little differently. But I would have never met the rutabaga. I would have never met the rutabaga. So in a way, I'm glad that I stalled that long, because I already knew Jesus, but I met the rutabaga because of that 7 month stall. So I guess I really shouldn't complain about it, huh? Quit your whining. So, all right. Well, I love y'all. I'm going to go put my pills away, but yeah, that's the pills I take every day. And yeah, but don't go out and buy nothing just because you see me take it. And don't go out and buy something because with some other influencer or some other person on the TV or the YouTube or the internet. Don't go buy something because somebody says you should. Make sure you actually need it before you do. And that's my 2 cents on all of it. Okay, I love y'all. Bye.